I'm going to talk about my portfolio and the exact crypto that I've purchased and what I have and why, specifically layer ones. I recently did an episode where I showed you the categories of crypto that I have and percentages of how much I have exposure-wise in each one of those categories. This is Crypto for the Rest of Us, 6 days a week tip tool coin analysis. My disclaimer, don't do what I do. Informational purposes only, big dumb animal. So those categories, I broke them down. The top three were layer one, AI, and DeFi. And DeFi, I consider everything finance related. It can be RWA, it can be exchanges, it can be lending and borrowing, staking, whatever. For me, DeFi just means finance, decentralized finance. AI, as we all know, huge narrative, NVIDIA, OpenAI, ChatGPT, you name it. And then layer ones, I believe, are just coming into their own. Now, most people would think, well, some of the first things that came about were these layer ones. You got Bitcoin, you got Ethereum in particular as the mother of all layer ones. And then you've got others. So why would I put so much into layer ones? Those are old. No, they're brand new. In my opinion, and that's what we're going to talk about in this episode, is first I'm going to tell you my methodology, and then I'll show you the crypto that I have and how they fit. And then we'll discuss the methodology again, because regardless of whether or not you're interested in these particular cryptocurrencies, I think my methodology may resonate with you. And let me explain what that is. With respect to layer ones, I believe that they're going to be huge because they're the foundation of everything. And cryptocurrency, for some of you, you've been involved in it for quite a while, but you've seen the changes over time. And a lot of people, there's still a lot of people that have no idea what it is or how it works. So think about this. 4 years ago, a bunch of people entered the workforce during the last bull run, age of maybe 22. Well, now they're 26. 4 years from now, they're going to be 30. What's my point? They're moving up. I've seen in my career, my observation has been that oftentimes a new technology isn't enough. You also need a new group of people that understand that technology. I had someone talk to me the other day about doctors. They said, oh, well, you've got a 60-year-old doctor. Nothing wrong with that. But a 30 or 40-year-old doctor may know more about some of they were recently in medical school. They know a little more about some of the newer, not drugs, but methods of attacking a particular problem someone may have. You get the point. Same thing with people coming out of school or younger people who understand cryptocurrency. Most of my friends at my age, old guy, they're doing very well. They're looking at retirement not too far from here. Are they looking to learn brand new things with respect to their practices or their businesses? Maybe, maybe not. But even if they are, they're going to look to younger people to bring this forward. So that's happening, I believe. And not many people still know about this. So what's the first thing a business is going to do when they start hearing about these things? Well, they're going to look at layer ones. They're going to look at decentralization and scalability and privacy and faster transactions and cheaper. And they're going to say, well, maybe we can utilize that. And where are they going to go? They're going to look at layer ones on which to potentially build some of their solutions. You get the point. So I mentioned my methodology. My methodology was this. Go after big market cap generic ones. Maybe only a 2, 3, or 4x in terms of return in this bull run. But then I've handpicked a group of, they're all, I think, over $1 billion market cap, but they're smaller in terms of size, market cap wise. Some of them are newer, but they're specific layer ones, meaning they're not so much generic. To me, a generic layer one is you can build anything on top of it. Ethereum. 30 or 40 of the coins in the top 100 are built, are ERC20 tokens. So Ethereum is generic to me. Near as a layer one. Not so generic. I believe it's purposefully built for AI, and we'll get into that. So first I'm going to talk about the generic ones because they apply to a huge market. And then my hand-picked ones that I used for specific purpose layer ones. Okay, that was a long intro. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to go down this list. I'm going to go through each of the layer ones in my category. I'm going to do 2 more shows, one with my AI crypto and one with my DeFi crypto, and maybe one with the rest, because those are my biggest categories. So first off is Ethereum. Ethereum, to me, first mover advantage. There was a time when people would say Bitcoin is a store of value. Ethereum is the world's computer. Now people will say ICP is the world's computer. I get it. We'll talk about that. But Ethereum is the number one first mover advantage. Look, we've got a 2 trillion market cap on Bitcoin and $500 billion on Ethereum. Nothing even comes close. They've got revenue, $5 to $10 million in fees a day. I mean, this is no joke. As I said, others like Chainlink and others built on Ethereum. They've got an ETF. At the moment, they're only one of two, Bitcoin and Ethereum. More are coming, but you understand, you can stake it for rewards. Me, if you watch my show, I use it as my number one debanking crypto. In the future, it might be Bitcoin, but Ethereum's definitely going to still be up there. And at the moment, if you look at something like DeFi Llama, they have $80 billion worth of total value locked. By far the largest. The next closest, I think, is $9 billion. We'll talk about that. I believe that's Solana. If this goes to $8,000, I'd be very happy. If it gets up closer to 12, wouldn't surprise me. So even at this price, and by the way, this is December 17th when I'm making this, I still think all of these are pretty decent entry points. We're not completely in altcoin season yet. Next is XRP. I had more. They have a huge community behind them. You've probably seen many of my videos. I'm not a fan of the fact they've been around for 12 years and the CEO won't give any information on their cross-border payment solution, which is what they do. RippleNet and ODL, their on-demand liquidity. They're a cross-border payment solution. They're up at number 3. In my opinion, for no other reason than they have a huge community of people behind them. I have since sold probably about 90% of it the last time it ran up, which was at a price actually higher than it is now. I'm not advocating XRP, just letting you know that that was one of my holdings. Solana I've had for quite a while, and you're all familiar with it. It's been around for a while. It was probably the first one to take a decent market share, I would think, from Ethereum. It's its own unique blockchain. It's been around since the last bull run and before, and it was, I would call it the darling of the last bull run. Everyone refers to it because it did like a 20x. I had it back then. I have since sold some, but only because I had such a great return. It has high throughput, scalability, low transaction fees. They call it developer friendly, which is important because the fact that you can use C, C++, Rust, big in DeFi, number 2, total value locked about $9 billion. Some people will tell you, and you can go read articles yourself, that they've had some issues here and there, but they are probably at the moment the number 1 competitor of Ethereum. I'm guessing they're going to get an ETF, and there are a lot of people backing it. And I still think this could do a 3-4x. All right. Next up, as I go down this list, now these are all, I'm looking at the main list here, but these are all layer 1s. I'm just showing you where they sit on the big list here. The next one is sitting at number 9 is a layer 1, Cardano, ADA. It's also been around for a while. The basics on ADA, and I'm going through all the ones that I own. It's foundation in academic research and formal verification. They go through peer review. It was built out of academia. And it's interesting if you read more about it, how they come to their conclusions and how they come to their changes. It says they place a strong emphasis on formal methods, mathematical techniques to verify and validate, minimize vulnerabilities, bugs, security loopholes. And like I said, this is a big one coming out of academia. I still think this is going to do well this bull run, but it's one of the top 10. It's already at 40 billion market cap. So could it get up to $4 or $5? I think it could. All right. Next on my list is SUI. New. SUI is very new. And if you've seen some of my videos, I got into it not too long ago. New in 2023. The founders were from Facebook, Meta. It says they use the Move programming language to have less security issues, easier for developers, parallel transactions, faster throughput, and they've done a lot of interesting partnerships. So they are new. They're moving pretty fast. They've gone up in price quite a bit. They moved up this list fast. I think they're a great up-and-comer, and people consider them a competitor to Solana. Raoul Pal, if you watch his stuff on YouTube, if you don't, I highly suggest you do. I believe he's involved with SUI, and he's not involved with many. And I think his favorites are like Solana, and he doesn't talk about many, but SUI is one. Polkadot. Polkadot's been around for a while. I like it because I like interoperability, the ability for chains to talk, and it has that as one of its core features. This is interesting. Polkadot is known as a layer 0 meta protocol because you can use it and build what they call parachains, DeFi gaming, supply chain, you name it. Interoperability, scalability, and it's this layer 0, which I think is fascinating. I had it last time, I have it now. Not sure what it's going to do, but these top ones I'm not expecting a lot from. They have such large market caps, and they have so much volume of transactions, as you can see here, that to me, that has a lot less volatility, and I think these were going to be around for the long haul. All right, 2 more that are up here in the top. I'm going to talk about Hedera, and I'm going to talk about ICP. I'm in both of these. Hedera's moved up fast. ICP has moved up quite a bit recently. Hedera, probably took off. 10 billion for Hedera, 6 billion ICP. I'm in both of these because they're very unique, even though everything I've talked about so far I consider to be generic. Hedera and ICP, I also consider to be generic. When I say generic, I mean you can build anything on top of them. However, Hedera is not a blockchain. It's called a hash graph. It's a particular type of hash graph, which solves some previous problems. Not going to get into everything about it. I talk about it a lot because they have a lot going on. It's fast, it's cheap, and uniquely, when I say fast, from the numbers they put out, and when I say cheap, it's like 0.0001. It's tied to the US dollar. So you pay fees in US dollar, not in H-bar. So even if H-bar goes up in price, it's not going to cost you more. And I think what's unique about what they're doing is they're going after institutional. They have a governing council, which you're probably familiar with, 30 different companies, huge companies. They have inroads to some of the best minds and companies out there. That's what they're going after, and that's what's helping guide their development. I think they're going to be around for the long haul. I consider that very unique. Not a blockchain, huge governing council, going after institutions. Brilliant. ICP. I don't think anyone's doing what ICP is doing. Some people might consider ICP way past everyone in terms of development and forward thinking. I don't know how else to explain it other than to say you can do everything on chain. Some of these, you can't do everything on chain. You have to go off chain, and people will argue that that brings in security issues. It's not truly decentralized and blah, blah, blah. I get that, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the future, the next time I launch a little website for whatever, or an app, it's on ICP and it's completely on chain. So that's everything layer 1 that I'm in. I consider them generic. And like I said, I think Hedera and ICP will greatly outperform the other ones I discussed, like Ethereum and ADA and Solana, Polkadot. But in terms of those generic ones, I think Sui's going to do well. They're making a lot of moves fast, Hedera and ICP. Okay. Now let's talk about those, what I call layer 1s that are purposefully built. Near Protocol. Near Protocol was built by some individuals that originally were building an AI application and realized that in order to do what they wanted to do, they needed a really good, strong foundation. So they said, okay, we're going to stop what we're doing AI-wise, and we're going to build this Near Protocol with the AI requirements in mind. And then at a point in time, they'll switch over once they believe they've got a good foundation to building on top of that for all the AI functionality. And that's what they've done. So I'm in Near Protocol because to me, they're an AI specific layer 1. And I think they started, I did a video on this, I want to say 2017. It's been a while. The next one, let's see, number 43. I'm going to stop going down this list in a second. Mantra. So as I mentioned, I'm big into layer 1, AI and DeFi. So Near fits the layer 1 and AI. Mantra fits the layer 1 and RWA, which is DeFi. Security first, RWA layer, tokenization of RWA. I believe that's a big deal. And it's a layer 1 specifically for RWA. So that's why I bought it. Next is Celestia. It's number 52 on the list. Celestia is interesting because it's specific in that you can launch your own blockchain. Essentially, they built some basic functionality, I believe infrastructure for security and data availability. They said, we're going to do that very well. And then you can build your blockchain on top of that. So it gives someone who wants to build their own blockchain a strong foundation. To me, that's very unique layer 1. Just got a couple more. Injective. Injective was built for finance. Finance applications, DeFi, RWA, AI, decentralized exchanges, But for me, I bought Injective, which I think is number 53 on the list here. No, it changes fast. 55 at still over 2 billion. And they're built specifically for finance. Flare. Let's see. Flare down here. Number 70 at the moment. It's a layer 1 for interoperability. To me, interoperability is extremely important. Next, we've got, let's see, just 3 more. Multiverse. EGLD. Sharding. Now, sharding splits the blockchain into multiple parallel shards. It's to process transactions at blazing fast speed. So that one, I only got into it for that reason. You'll hear about sharding and other networks implementing it, but they created themselves, I believe, just to make themselves incredibly fast. Mina is fascinating to me. I don't know why it doesn't get more discussion. I don't think it's in the top 100, but it's still over 1 billion. Their size is 22 kilobytes. It's incredibly small, so small that I understand you can run a node on a cell phone. And to give you an idea, I looked it up. Bitcoin's considered a 300 gigabyte blockchain. Okay, so if you're not familiar with size, if you open up Notepad or a note program and you type in text and you make your list of groceries for the day, 2 or 4 kilobytes. So like 3 grocery lists is maybe 22 kilobytes. That's nothing. Bitcoin, 300 gigabyte. A movie is a gigabyte. A high definition movie is 2 to 3 gigabyte. That's like 100 to 300 movies versus a grocery list. Just to give you an idea of scale. I don't know why they don't talk about Mina much, because I think that is fascinating how small it is. It's called a zero knowledge proof. They say, and to me, this was a big deal when it comes to privacy. They can verify the data without revealing the data. That's privacy. There's no other way to obtain better privacy than to be able to verify data without actually looking at the data. Last was one I jumped into. A friend told me about it. Vanar. I don't have a good reason. I looked at their cost per transaction, their on-chain transactions, fixed, low fee, scalable, fast, energy efficient. They've got some interesting companies that they seem to be working with. I love Shelby's. I don't know what they're doing with Shelby. I got to look that up. Paramount. This one is very small. It's number 288 in the total list. So this was just kind of a shot in the dark. Someone told me about it. I put a little money into it. All right. So just to go back over my methodology, I'll list out here everything I invested in. My top ones in the top 20, they're all what I call generic layer ones. And then unique generic layer ones like Hedera and ICP. And then I believe those are all going to do 2 to 4x. Hedera and ICP and SUI, I consider to be generic. I think those 3, I have no idea. 10x, 15, even from current prices. We'll see. Then you've got underneath that, the ones that are more purposefully built. That's why I picked them. I'll put the list up here. And they're specific to AI because AI is my second big category. In DeFi, I'm in both of those pretty much equally. So you've got Near AI, you've got Ohm, RWA, you've got Injective, which is also DeFi, you've got interoperability, speed, that sort of thing. So I've invested in crypto in each one of those categories. And these are layer ones for each one of those categories. All right, so that's it for today. That's everything. I'm sure that was way too long. Hope we can all make generational wealth together with crypto. Thanks for watching. I will do 2 more episodes with respect to DeFi coins and AI coins. Hopefully that made sense. I'm going after generic, large market cap for decent returns. And then I'm going after ones and cherry picking the ones that I believe are purposefully built for specific industries that I think will also do well, like AI, DeFi, interoperability. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.